Yes, people, you don't know. We're back again at it. One of the marquee game so far, in the World Cup, Brazil to host, the team that went the farthest as an African team, Morocco. Most people would say a team that won the African without win the final. You get what I'm saying? But just 1 second, 1 second. I forgot to get some water.
Yeah, welcome back, welcome back. We just did the quarter Switzerland game, and we are back for the Brazil Morocco game. If you are watching this game, you can see that the stadium is full in the MetLife Stadium. You get what I'm saying? I think this game is gonna be a cracker, one of the big of the boys. You get what I'm saying? Morocco, which we don't know if they actually is the are they the African champion, but I'm gonna go with Senegal. But this is gonna be a very good game. You get what I'm saying? But um,
Yeah,
full
good game.
sold out game. You know, um, one of the biggest match of the tournament so far. We could say, Brazil and the 5-star nation trying to get back on the biggest stage. You get what I'm saying? That this stadium is gonna be the World Cup final game, right? Right?
Yes, yes, yes. It's a marquee setup. Arguably the biggest, the most brand and most supported, team traveling fans as well. Of Brazil, arguably in the top five most travel fans in the world when it comes down to World Cup. I do still feel like Brazil behind teams like Mexico, and Argentina and behind of most travel fans to support. But Brazil are right up there. But looking at the team though, arguably, at least, Carlo Ancelotti change, the setup, would have seen him, numerous occasions trying that 4-2-4 setup where it just wasn't working out, and Brazil went on to last, 6 games in the World Cup qualification round. And let me say this, Daniel, the last time Brazil lost 6 games in our World Cup qualifier, we beat the big mighty, your team, Germany, in the final. Struggled to go to that World Cup. I think we won like 9 games, draw 3 and lost like 6. And we came third in CONMEBOL and we struggled to get to the World Cup. That was Brazil's worst ever qualification round, and we managed to get there. And then the Brazil team get that victory and won that final. So watch out, Morocco, watch out. You get what I'm saying? But it's going to be a good game. This Moroccan team, quite a few of their players who have scored, in the group stage of last World Cup, right? They failed to make this team. 2 player argument, El Nasiri and Ziyech. But I've seen them draw against Croatia, but I've seen them beat Canada and Belgium, finish on 7 points, and they beat Spain, beat Portugal, and missed out against France. And if you look at the teams that they come up against in the last World Cup, arguably some of the top team, and they played 2 teams that were ranked in the top 10 during that time in the knockout round and managed to get it to the semi-final. So this squad, looking at it right now, the Brahim Diaz, the Unai, and the El Canus, some of these players like the El Canus, the Hakimi, Mazwari, Bono would have been some of the highlight of what happened last cycle in the World Cup, right? Player like Diop, the Sabari. Sabari was a young man as well. But who is really missing from, you will say, in that middle is Amrabat, arguably their best player in the last World Cup. What is going on? You think these 2 players, playing in the double pivot much better, at this moment, from Lille and from AS Roma in the squad? Al Kanoui.
No, I think Amrabat was a much better player. You get what I'm saying? Well experienced as well. You get what I'm saying? So I think these 2 players playing at a very good level. 2 youngster. So I think they're gonna be very much up for it. Very gonna be very excited to see the tenacity from these young players. So I don't think it's better, but I think that with a lot more youth, I think they can definitely gonna able to keep up with the Casemiro and the Bruno Gameras in the midfield and give them a very battle for their money. But I think quality wise, I don't know. We're gonna see if quality wise if they can able to keep up with the Casemiros of this world.
Yeah, the Brazil team, I watched that game, I talk, me and you have conversation about that Panama game where they run riot. But the first half was very scary where, Thomas Christiansen, the Panamanian team, really control a lot of phase in that first 45 minutes, that friendly game that played in Brazil. And Brazil lost their shape so many times in that 4-2-4. And he made a few substitution and tweak in the start of the second half. And he I think he boxed in Fabinho and started to use, three in the midfield. And that's how Brazil kind of get dominate in that last 45 minutes. And they just find the balance and the structure and organize very well. So it gives, the wide men, Vinicius, Rafinha, a bit more license, to go forward. And when you look at Casemiro, he and Guimaraes was the only two players running that midfield. So looking at it now where the Wesley, he's out, but he brought in the Atalanta, midfielder. So that tells you that he are already looking into play a three-man midfield. But I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of Paqueta, but at this given moment, he's an okay number 10, and I think that position is very key to success and what the Brazil team going to do in this World Cup, because they have to create. You cannot allow just the two wide men to create. Something has to come down through the middle, just like Vinicius and Rafinha. They go, if they play their game, they're going to create from those wide areas. So it's all about if Paqueta, can get something going. And Thiago, I know you talk about Thiago in the past. He's not the most ideal Brazil, number 9 that, we look up to, over the years. The signature number 9 is from like a R9. You look at Hendrick, is more of a signature player of what Brazil wants in that, in that profile of a position. But you think he can really do a very good job and do the trick. He scored in previous games as well.
Yeah, I think Thiago is a very a box number 9, the traditional number 9. And I just think that football has kind of go away from those type of striker. You get what I'm saying? Look at the opposition that got left out. Jaha Pedro. That is where football go. A striker that can do a bit of everything. And I just think that Thiago gonna have a lot to prove. He's gonna have a lot to convince me. I still think Carlo Ancelotti made the wrong choice, but he's on the biggest stage of his career, and let's see if he can prove me wrong. But I just feel like he yet to convince me that he can be the prolific number 9 for Brazil. But today is the day. He's gonna have to prove me wrong, and we will see from here.
Yeah, so Brazil, coming up against South American teams, I've only lost one time, and that would have been in the last cycle in Qatar when they lost against Cameroon. I think it was Abubakar goal that sent Brazil packing in that group stage in that game. And, on the flip side of Morocco, they lost 3 games. They lost to Brazil in the past. They lost to, I think, Colombia and I think Peru in the past. So it tells you that, vice versa, they are not very good when it comes down to South American teams in the World Cup, and Brazil are much stronger, unit against, African teams. So let's see how this one really pans out. We can give you guys all the head-to-heads. We can give you guys all the statistics of how Morocco was very good at dominate, and beat, some of these bigger teams in the last, World Cup. So it's all on the pitch what's going to happen. But today is a game where Brazil need a statement win. They are not the favorite. Even, goes back to when they won it, 2002, 20 plus years ago. They were the favorite, to really get to capture that. They have some big names, but it's just a build up on how they capture their moments and become the favorite during the game, during the cycle of 2002. So I'm hope that maybe they can do the same this time around. But the US men's national team set the bar very high, in the last game, yesterday. It's all about if Brazil, can do it with arguably the best African team at this moment as well. They need to show the fans that listen, we are here. Yeah, we are here to win and we are here to compete at the highest level. And I just think that Paquetá, Casemiro, and Bruno, they're going to have to be key. They have to be key because if you look at that last, World Cup where Brazil, lost in the quarterfinals, yeah, the midfield was too much of a gap in that midfield. They need to close up the midfield. They're always going to be good down the width as well. And I'm looking at, Santos, of Zenit St. Petersburg, and Ibanez, player that playing in the Saudi Pro League for Al Ain. Two players in the squad that competing, for their club level, played in Saudi. So I'm not sure if these two wing backs, ideal, the signature wing backs that Brazil have always had in the past, of playing for top clubs in the world. But talk about the Gabriel and Marquinhos, as the two centre back, strong enough, something similar like what, Lucia and, one in that defensive line.
Yes, I think coming off of the season, both players have for their club, especially Marquinhos, back-to-back Champions League. Gabriel, I think Gabriel definitely one of the best if not the best defender in the Premier League last season with Saliba. So I think quality-wise, I don't think they come close, those players. But I think if you look at it, these are maybe Brazil two best defender, bar over the last couple of years, bars Thiago Silva. You get what I'm saying? So it's not they're nowhere near Kwan and Lucio and those type of, you get what I'm saying? So but that's still a good, decent. If I was supposed to choose any center back for Brazil currently right now to play for me, I would definitely go with those two. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're looking at, Morocco, looking as if they're more settling team at this moment, have some possession. I mean, this Brazilian team is not ideally the team that really wants to keep the ball. If not Ancelotti, philosophy, looking at, you goes back in the AC Milan, you go back to the Real Madrid, especially, and the Real Madrid, they're more of a team that, in the transition.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ancelotti is, I think since he went to go play with Ronaldo, them, Zidane, the Bale, the Benzema of this world, I think he kind of changed up away, because even when he was at Chelsea and AC, man, it was a more possession damage. Still play a local counter-attacking football, but I think when he went to Real Madrid, he started to adjust to the players them when have. You get what I'm saying? Kind of play a little bit different, a more pragmatic. You get what I'm saying? But
yeah.
But I think he's a very flexible coach that can change it up. You get what I'm saying? But I don't think he just focused on one way. He go with the players that have available and work with the squad. I think that's one of the reasons why he's been such a successful coach. But
he's more of a I think I don't want you call Ancelotti a coach. He's more of a manager, someone that know to manage, maybe you want to change that word in a statement, but we know how much he can manage the Eagles. We know how much he can manage big name players. You could see Morocco. Look, if you look, that's some of the moments in the last World Cup cycle. Brazil gave away a lot of their goals. The ball go down, one of the wings, and it comes right back out on the 18 inside of the D, and they gave up so many opportunities in that way. So that's what I'm saying. The Bruno G, the Paquetá, and also the Casemiro, they're going to have to tighten up that area. They can't get dragged out in the wide areas too much. If Cassie and Bruno G get dragged out, Paquetá must drop a bit deep to solidify things. You have to be very, precise. You talk about the position that he's going to pick up. I know tactically he's not the most clever player that know to read the game and run in areas. He can be awful in terms of off the ball, but on the ball and his day, You know, he's good as some of the best midfielders, you know, are close to good enough as them, you know, for Brazil in that era. So let's see how Casemiro really can organize stuff. You know, I know he's not the quickest, you know, around the grounds, but it's still going to be very crucial on how, you know, he tidy up things and really to organize that midfield. But what's your takes,
Yes,
you know,
I
so
think
far, Morocco?
Casemiro struggling in this game so far. I think the Morocco team is pressing that midfield. I think for me that was one of the concern, and I think the youth and the athleticism of Morocco so far have started this game really good. Um, are they gonna able to keep up all this high intensity? You get what I'm saying? But so far, Brazil have yet to get into the game and control the game a little bit, but so far, Morocco have been the best team. They have created the best chances so far. But Casemiro really gonna have to settle in, and
Yeah.
they're gonna start targeting him. You get what I'm saying? Because he's not the Casemiro of the prime days of Real Madrid. You get what I'm saying? But yeah,
Yeah. You see a turnover, you know, where Brazil could probably easily hit the Moroccan team in the transition, but this is the period where Morocco have to be strong. You know, they have to be very accurate with their passing in terms of not give up sloppy passes in the mid third where Brazil can get that ball, win it, and shift it to one of the wing very quickly. We know how much of a quick of a player Vinicius is. We know how much a quick of a player Rafinha is, very deadly coming in on that left hand side as well. You get what I'm saying? So let's see how much Brazil really can demonstrate, you know, more passes in the middle of the pitch. You know, you're seeing again, you know, the Moroccan team is getting the best of Brazil in terms of the 50-50. You know, it's just too easy getting through that midfield. It's like hot knife running through butter, you know. Very good block right there from Gabriel Magalhaes, you know. So that's the thing I'm saying. We're seeing patches already of the pipe leaking inside of the middle of the park. And I think that's where Brazil must get serious.
yeah,
I think that was a brutal 50-50 right there between Hakimi and saying Saliba, Gabriel. Brazil just not settled as yet, but when they do different ball game, yeah. I mean, but you expect Brazil to come out on the front foot, you know, to show the Moroccans that listen, we are the 5-star general. You know, you guys have to, you know, react to whatever we are going to bring at you. But Brazil is more of a, you know, at least more proactive where they're just trying to get going, but it's just not going yet. So you have to just react to what the Moroccan did by, you know, turn over the ball and, you know, try to hit the team on the counter, you know, seeing sloppy play, you know, again, you know, poor from Paquetá. That's when, you know, you need your Brazilian number 10 in that area to be clever. Yeah, to be clever, you know, beat someone after turn and then you beat the press.
yeah.
And then you
Who lost
find
that
yourself.
ball? Who lost that ball? Just
It was
just follow up.
Paquetá. It was Paquetá. You know, that's when look, that's when you have to get the ball on the half turn. That's when you have to beat the first man, you know, the press. And if he could beat someone right there, you know, you facing at least 5 Moroccan players while the 2 Brazilian players on the wing are going to stretch them behind. And then you have, you know, Gore going
Try
down the
again. They
midfield.
give away the ball again. What's
So
going on with Brazil?
it's been sloppy. It's not good. It's not good.
Morocco really
Not
gonna
good
have to take these.
opportunity.
They're playing really uppercut. Brazil's not gonna be this bad the whole game. Brazil won't
Well,
be this bad.
is it nerves? Is it pressure? Is it the
I
Brazilian
think
pressure? Is it the
I think it's
nerves?
pressure. I think it's pressure.
It is one thing, you know. It doesn't matter what level a footballer play, you know, coming up against any team as a Brazilian player, you know, it's always going to be pressured. And in pressured moment, if you don't use the pressured moments, you know, by just
Yeah.
getting the ball, you know, you
No,
find
but these
both
are
legs.
but these are
That's what.
players that play at such a high level for Brazil team. These are no scrubs. You get what I'm saying? So I just think it's pressure. I just
No,
think it's
you're
pressure.
right. But you know, international pressure with Brazil, you know, it's a different intensity of pressure. You know, you get graded, you know, very hard. You know, they look at every single details. Brazil is a team that we know that you need to be at least close to perfection in World Cups. You need to be at close to perfection, you know, so your fans can be pleased. You know, when I see the fans in on social media over the last couple of days camping out in Times Square before they head over to the Hudson River, you know, in New Jersey, you know, to enter the gates, get into the stadium. So their fans has been energetic, you know, in the last 48 hours, even in the rain in Times Square. And the Moroccan fans are enjoying themselves as well in the Big Apple. So both fans, you know, I think really, you know, I'm looking forward for this game, as this is a big, you know, as this is a very huge game, you know, huge game. I seen, I think it was a photo of a particular outlet that covered African football, and the watch party at this moment in Africa, in Morocco, you know, it's very huge. You know, the gathering is huge. It's very huge. So a lot of fans back home in Morocco, they are watching this game as well.
Yeah, I think it's nerves. I think it's just nerves. Thiago should have done better right there.
Come on, boy. Should have done better. So that's the first sign of what Brazil can bring, you know, to the party. Thiago, I mean, for a big guy. Yeah, for a big guy, you have to do better, man. You have to do better than that.
Tell about that, brother. But I'm going to give him a chance. But tell about that, brother. All right, I'm going to say that.
Where is it? Are the 2.0, Fred?
Tell about this, brother, Thiago. But that's all the game can change in a flash. They does have the talent to change the game in a flash. You get what I'm saying? They have not started good, but they can just change the game in a flash. That's how good this Brazilian team.
Yeah, and I think looking at this game, I think those are the moments, you know, Brazilian the players are looking forward to at this given moment, you know, to get to be honest. You know, I think we kind of look at Brazil as it is the old time fashion Brazil team that, you know, entertain, but this team is more of the transition, you know, react to when the teams make mistake, you know, to pounce on errors and stuff like that. So, and if you see in the first 15 minutes of the game, you know, we have like roughly around 5 easy turnovers in the middle of the park when it's sloppy. Shouldn't have been doing that. And it's happened so many times. You know, the turnovers in the last Copa America and US side, the turnovers, it was so bad where Brazil conceded around 3 to 4 goals just by turning over the ball in their own half. So have to be very delicate and how, you know, they do things in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah. First 15 minutes in the game, but I think great start from Morocco, and then Brazil started to go. The Brazilian legend, Ronaldo, R9, Kaká, Roberto Carlos up in the stands. You know, but this is gonna be a very interesting game. I don't think this is gonna be one of those games where you can say, "Yo, this team's gonna win." You get what I'm saying? Like this is to me, this is anybody game for me.
Yeah.
Cause this is a very good Morocco team. And I know Brazil know this. This was never gonna be a straightforward win for them.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's see how, you know, it seems like the game kind of a bit quiet down, and the Moroccan side just allowing the Brazil, you have to play the ball deep in their defensive third and the mid third as well. You know, see Bruno G kind of stepping up the pace a bit in the midfield. You know, the one to really anchor things. You know, likes of pushing up Casemiro, who not so much, you know, comfortable on the ball. You know, collecting on the half turn. And that's the thing. You know, someone have to go deep. Somebody have to go deep, because Cassie is not the most quickest, most clever player, you know, to collect the ball with his back to goal and to turn and beat people with pace. So Bruno G or Paqueta, one of them must drop a bit deeper, you know, to get that ball and to, you know, to bring the Brazilian game out of the defensive third and get it in the attacking third. So the likes of Vinicius, can be free up a little bit, isolate them 1v1. Yeah. So it's all about also targeting the weaker side of the Moroccan team. And if you look at it, the right side of Morocco cannot be the weakest. Hakimi is over there. So you're looking at over on the left-hand side where the matchup between Rafinha, and what's his name that play for Manchester United, Mazarari. You want that matchup. Yeah, you want that matchup. So
Brazil starting to get in the flow. They're starting to feel themselves a little bit. They're trying to go on that that left side where Vinicius is playing. They're not much using the right side. They're playing a very narrow. Nobody's on the right side, going down on the right side wing. Rafinha and both Vinicius is on that left side trying to break. As you said, I think Mazarari is a very good defender. You get what I'm saying? And he started very good. You get what I'm saying? So I think Brazil is going to try to explore that left side. And that's where they're mostly playing their football right now. But they finally get into the game. They finally to settle down that nerve. What they start first. Brazil on the attack. Vinicius, poor touch.
And that was like really the first time, Vinicius is getting ahead of Hakimi over on that left-hand side.
And I think that's why they're going on that left side, because Hakimi is going to be bombing forward. You get what I'm saying? And Mazarari is probably going to be the one where he's going to be a little reserve. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why they're going down that side, because Hakimi always going to be that player that's going bombing forward.
Yeah.
And leave a lot of space behind.
Yeah, but very interested. The game kind of a bit, even at this moment, that little early scare from the Moroccan team, kind of dilute a bit. It's more of Brazil looking slightly a bit more dangerous than how they started the game in the first 15. So I think Brazil have control, vast amount of the possession in the last 5 minutes. But, Morocco have some very good players with height, like Diop in that box as well.
Yeah.
Vinicius should have at least, opportunity, a one-time shot out on the edge of the box. What is he doing? Yes, so we are right in the first 20 minutes of the game. What the Seleção can bring to the party, the fans. This is not looking good, man. This is not looking good.
Paquetá is not playing great.
It's not looking good. Mistakes after mistake. Mistakes after mistake. Mistake after mistake. It's not looking good. Brilliant. Right down to the spine. Right down to the spine of the team.
That was Paquetá.
Right down into the spine of the team. That's what I'm talking about. The midfield tree must be compact. We know Paquetá at his West Ham days is not the most clever player in the midfield. He turned over the ball so much times. We know Casemiro is not the most clever player on the ball, most composure. I mean, look, the midfield has always been this issue. And it goes back to the Copa America days when they have Andreas Pereira, playing in that midfield. Bruno. I mean, and then the last World Cup itself, you go back and watch highlights, you name how many times, the midfield has turned over the ball and allowed the opposition team to create. And it's right down into the spine of the Brazilian, in the guts of the Seleção team. 1-0, Morocco 1, the Seleção, Brazil 0. Yeah. At this time, every pub, every bar, all the watch parties around the globe, especially in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro, everyone is holding their head at this given time. What the hell is going on? Yet again,
Well,
another
well,
African team take the lead and Brazil in back-to-back World Cup.
but well deserved. I think Morocco being the best team so far. I think Brazil have came into the game a little bit, but if we be real, on the base of the play so far, I think Morocco have been the best team. You get what I'm saying? And Brazil just cannot get their thing together. Paquetá having a horrible game. You get what I'm saying? He lost that ball in the middle of the field and then cut right through into that midfield. So Ancelotti really gonna have to get his team together.
Everton said in the comments, I wonder if Paquetá plays a bet on this game.
That's a great question. That is a great question.
Yeah. So I mean, look, the hydration break. The first half of the first 45, the hydration break is in. You will say the better team in this half, has to go down to the Africans, the Moroccan team. So good. I think they started out, really on the front foot. A lot of, fans didn't really expect this, expect Brazil to come and, take the game to the Africans. But the Moroccans really, really stretched this Brazilian team. They really press. And I see a lot of trends, in this game where as soon as the ball pounds to one of the midfield three, at least two Moroccans are running towards them to close them down because they know that this Brazil team, one of the issue is inside the middle of the park. And if you look at the mistakes over and over and the turnovers, when Paquetá turned over that ball for the first time, collecting the ball in his own half, it was 2 to 3 Moroccan players on him in the quick of 2 seconds. So there's a trend going on. When Brazil placing the ball out wide left or out wide right, one of the midfielders are dropping close as possible to Hakimi or Mazwari, and the left wing back or the right wing back, they are getting pinned right at the Brazil players, and then the player that played up in the attacking third on both sides, they come right deep. So that kind of create a bit of a triangle, to where they know that Vinicius and Rafinha, they're very explosive and they just cannot get out of those pockets. So what is the best avenue for this Brazil team, to really find some bit of a space, in this second half of the first 45, Daniel?
Yeah, I think definitely Ancelotti really gonna have to sit and talk to. I know he get the opportunity to talk to his players now and able to get some information on them and what they're doing wrong. But I don't think the tactics is wrong. I just think the players, especially the players in the midfield, are not getting their head right. Casemiro make first some couple of sloppy passes in there, and Paquetá have lost the ball multiple times. You get what I'm saying? I think the only player that looked okay so far is Bruno Guimaraes. So I think the players in that middle is giving themselves their own self. I want to say I think Morocco is pressing them, but they really need to get better onto the ball and make better decision if they want to win this game. Because if they don't win this game, it's a chaos gonna happen in Brazil. You get what I'm saying? But let's see what happened. 25 minutes gone so far. They have a lot of minutes to go to settle down and settle ahead. These are experienced players that play at the highest level, so I expect them to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot more better, from Santos and Ibanez, the both fullbacks. I'm expecting at some given point, these two wing backs, the DNA of the Brazilian culture, I know they're wired to play football, the wing backs must create. They must give the team an outlet out on that wide flanks. It's either one going to get in where they can actually get on the football, or they're going to create wide. They just cannot be.
But I feel like these two wing backs, I know they lost Wesley to injure at the last moment. But I'm not convinced these players are good enough to be starting for Brazil. I think these are second string players that just make it because Brazil just don't have any better option. Like, let's be honest. Morocco wing backs is way better than Brazil wing backs, and we're talking about a Morocco team. And Morocco is on the break, and it's almost 2-0. Oh my God, Brazil is living very dangerous.
Boy, I feel sorry for the Brazilians. I feel sorry for the Brazilians that all over the world at this given moment. This World Cup started on the back foot.
The Brazil, I was saying that the Morocco wing backs is way better than the Brazil wing backs, and this is and he proved it to myself. Casemiro on the ball, and he lost out again. Oh my God, not good enough. And this is Morocco. We're not playing Spain. We're not playing Germany.
I mean,
this
Brazil,
is Morocco.
Brazil midfield is at the lows.
Who can they bring off the bench and change this midfield?
Let's see who's on the bench. So on the bench, you have Ederson, you have Fabinho, you have look. There's no real number 8s or number 10 on the bench. You have Ederson and you have Fabinho. That's it. Those are the two midfielders. Can really play in the middle of the park. Yes, probably can try Mateus, in the middle, playing as a 10. I know, you have Ryan, probably can talk to on the right-hand side and drop Rafinha inside of the middle of the park and grab Paquetá by his ear off the pitch. But something has to be done. Something has to be done. I probably maybe a solution where you use 1-6 and you use 2 number 8 or you use 2 number 10, get Rafinha in the middle of the park and get Ryan out on the right-hand side and use, Rafinha, to partner with probably one of those midfield 3. You get what I'm saying? So, but something has to be done, man. There's something has to tweak in the second half, but Ancelotti cannot allow the game to go like this, else this Moroccan team going to have a field day in the middle of the park. Yeah. That's all I have to say. But there's not much opportunity and options that can. Oh, you see, there's so many chances, but there's not many options off the bench. Where you can bring on influential players, off the bench to play in that number 8 position.
Yeah, I don't think. I know you mentioned 1-6. Paquetá give away the ball again. What is going on? Is this guy better in the game?
Hey, Everton, people, I have to bring this comment. Everton, 30-96. Wonder if Paquetá plays a bet on this game.
He gave away the ball like 3-4 times already.
I have to bring this up, man. I have to bring this up. I mean.
What the hell? I think what's getting. I think the youth. I think the youth is killing this market. The Brazil team.
Yeah. I mean, the youthfulness is killing this market team, but the big difference in the middle of the park, the Moroccan team, they have much more composure.
Yeah.
And the football, they seem that they're a bit more technical on the ball, where they know exactly where their teammates, running in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah.
There's a synergy between the 3 midfield players in the middle of the park. The man that's playing for Lille and the Roma guy. You get what I'm saying? So there must be a change to this game coming up in the next 15 minutes at the break. Ancelotti have a whole soul of problems to deal with.
I think this is the worst performance from a Brazil team in their first World Cup game I've ever watched. I ain't gonna lie. I think this is the worst game I've ever seen a Brazil team put up. In the years I've been watching Brazil, this is the worst ever performance from a Brazil team. I think they cannot get on the ball. They cannot touch the ball. All the players look off it. Morocco team, I've been all over them. You get what I'm saying? So they got 15 minutes before halftime. Added time to get their thing together. But then again, this is a Brazil team with a lot of individual brilliance can turn up and just score a goal out of nowhere. Brazil is on the top. Vinicius Jr. cut inside. 1-1. That's why I just said that.
Yeah.
I literally just said that.
Yeah.
This is a team that have quality and they will just turn up on the score at no moment.
Yeah.
And that's what I said.
Magic moments, big player, big goal. like it, 1-1, uno uno. The Seleção are back on track. Can this be the moment where Brazil really takes the game away now from this Moroccan team? Level up the score. Having the Moroccan team thinking, all right, we just concede a goal. Let's go, let's play with more intensity. Let's push up. Let's ice up. I've yet to really see we have a tactical approach where we try to isolate the best players, so they can have 1v1 against the Moroccan players and just start to go at them. I think Brazil, they have to do something where they have to stretch the game. They have to pull the game, wide as possible. Get the Moroccans, to pull them out of positions where, 1v1, the Brazilians more likely, favorable to win those battles, going forward, especially with the likes of Vinicius can cut in on that right. Rafinha can cut in. I need to see more overlaps coming from Ibanez and Santos out on that left hand side, where it's give the players the option to come inside and their stronger foot. There has to be
Yeah.
some type of a movement, but I'm not seeing the players from left back, wing back are bombing forward, creating the outlets out wide, say, giving the players in the attacking third the avenues and the space to run in behind. There has to be something, and we are yet to really see a midfield run. Where's the Frank Lampard half the man run get into the box? Where's the third man running? We see so many plays from the US men's national team last night where they're creating triangles, they're passing the balls around the corners, they are running off the shoulders, and it was just chaotic for the Paraguayan team. But at this time, it's 1-1, but the Moroccan team is still living at bay where it's too easy to defend against teams that have quality like the Brazilians on the pitch. There's something has to give. You cannot have the weaker team coming games where it's just more of a complacement where they just can sit deep and it be so easy for them to defend against Brazilian team. So 1-1, they did enough to get on the score sheet. Individual brilliance, from Vinicius, and you see a bit of a set play where it create avenues on that left hand side. Can we see more plays from that? Like what we just see where the Brazilians, can actually do something in the game. You get what I'm saying? So much respect, to Vinicius. He did what he needed to do, and he get the goal, and the Selecao are back in the game. That's where they want the game to be at this moment. But the Moroccan team, you see they right after they won a free kick in the defensive third of the Brazilian.
I think there's more goal in this game. That's for sure. I think more games in this game. I don't think this game is gonna be in 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see there's a lot more goals inside. Both teams look like they can create chances and score. So I think this is gonna be a very exciting game.
Yeah.
One for the ages.
But it's very interesting now to see how the Moroccan team will react. You want to see that next side of them where the Brazil score, what they will do. Will they still be the same team? Will they panic a bit and probably get in their shell to see out the game? That could be a negative approach, see out the game, sit a bit deep and allow the Brazil team to come at them. So when you have magic on the pitch, you never know when something can create. You know what I'm saying? Out of nothing, and you see it with Vinicius. So it's interesting and it's intrigued to see how the Moroccan team will react tactically in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
How many times you see the Brazil defender or the midfielders try to pin the ball in a diagonal pass on either flank, and if so many pass it overhit to Ibanez out on his right hand side where they just cannot find him when he's free, when he's creating the outlet and there's no one around him. The Brazil players fail to really find him, with an open spot where he got so much real estate to run down that right hand side. But again, another ball pin over his head. So that tells you that this Brazil team's a bit poor of trying to get even a 50 diagonal pass. No one in the midfield can really create.
Thiago Thiago have yet to get into the game. I don't think he have touched the ball as much as yet.
But it's all about the balance of this Brazil team. Brazil is not doing anything for Thiago to really, to get opportunities. No one really creating moments for him.
Yeah.
This Moroccan team is so quick. They are so quick. This Moroccan team is so quick on the ball. They are thinking way ahead of this Brazilian team. They are thinking so quick on the ball. This midfield three must be some tactical approach. It cannot carry on like this. It cannot. A coach like Ancelotti, I know he'll be looking at it. His coaching staff will be looking at it and analyzing it at this moment. I know they can fix it going forward. So I wouldn't be surprised to see options, coming off the bench.
I don't think he can change it though. I think attacking wise, I think he can, but midfield wise, I don't think he can change it.
I think looking at it, I would probably get Paqueta off the pitch, get Ryan on the pitch, move Rafinha a little bit centrally to play in that number 10. That's somewhere he played, for the Barcelona team, for quite some time as well, and he played that role as well in certain games, for Brazil under this new coach. So let's see.
Everton say I don't see how Brazil can cope with the likes of France or Spain or Portugal. That is so true.
That is so true.
So true.
That is so, especially as a Spanish team where they have, they're so slick. They're so slick across the midfield.
A France team that is so dangerous on attack. Oh my God.
Yeah, they're so slick. And this is an aging, Brazil team as well, where the players are, much late in their 20s and over in their early 30s, mid 30s as well. But we should see a lot more from this team. All right. So this is where it comes now. Rafinha have the opportunity to collect the ball, perfectly, but he missed control. So the ball control has been even poor, from him, because that was a very good option for him to control the ball very good and go at Mazouari 1v1.
Vinicius get the ball and control the ball. Oh, the bomb water go. I don't want him.
Yo, everyone watching this stream, this Brazilian team looking more after a reggae boy team. They cannot even control the ball. This look like this cannot be the futsal of what Brazil grew up on. Where's the Joaga Bonito?
Can you imagine?
Oh my God!
Can you imagine the legend that in the stadium, the Ronaldinhos,
the Brazilians cannot control the football to save them life. Look at how easy the Moroccan player bounce Igor Thiago off the ball. The Brazilian player's feet comes like it's a car wheel. It's like a tire. As soon as it hit it bounces somewhere vertically wide. My goodness, you seen 2 minutes ago where Rafinha controlled and to get the opportunity to go 1v1. That was a very good creative pass for him out on the right hand side, and it's asked him to control the ball perfectly well and to stand tall and take his man on. No one was out there with Mazouari and himself. So you're looking at even Vinicius getting the opportunity with Hakimi just seconds ago, and he cannot even beat Hakimi. That's crazy, man.
Another poor play again.
It's crazy.
It's Neymar.
It's very crazy. Look, every time Brazil tried to hit a long pass over 20 yards, the ball went over the player's head. They can't even pin pass on one of the players' feet or in his chest. When this should be the Brazilian team, should be doing this at ease by even closing their eyes. Ronaldinho should be sitting uncomfortably anywhere he's at this moment, looking at his fellow countrymen doing the wrong with the basic moves.
The amount of time I see Paqueta give away the ball is ridiculous. The This guy this guy definitely can be game.
This should be Paqueta's last game in the World Cup. Paqueta is no good. We know that.
Let me see.
This should be the last major tournament for this guy. And this is one of Brazil's problems. Brazil failed to develop a very good number 10 over the years. Where is that perfect number 10? Where is that number 10? I think the real closest number 10 that Brazil have developed over the year close to be a world class. Maybe Coutinho was the last real player Brazil have in that role, could really play in that number 10. Drop his shoulder off the turn and move left people. My goodness grace. Save the Celestial. Can the Jesus above on the top of the mountain in Rio de Janeiro come and save this Brazilian team and save these players from not getting themselves disgraced?
Jersey. That's a foul. Jeez. The amount of time this midfield give away the ball is ridiculous. That's gonna be a yellow card. Both Brazil midfielders are on yellow card, Brzail. Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes. Both are on yellow card.
This is so sloppy. This is so sloppy. This is so sloppy, man. I can't believe I'm watching a Brazil team cannot control the football. Cannot control the football. This is so sloppy. I can't believe what I'm seeing at this moment. My goodness. No, Roger Ibanez is on a yellow card. Midfielders on a yellow card. Boy, Ancelotti, I hope the Advil company sponsor this Brazil team because Ancelotti will need a lot of Advil for paying for his headache. Because he can't be happy with what he's seeing. The people in Brazil cannot be happy with what they're seeing. And if you look at the last real times Brazil get to play some quality teams post 2006 or 2010, they fail to really to give a very proper game to their opposition. Ah, boy, this is bad. I think Ancelotti need to give these Brazilian players some kebab chicken. This Brazilian team needs some Mediterranean food. This Brazilian team needs some Mediterranean food. Because these Moroccan players seems like they're running so hard, they can't tired. What the hell they are eating?
Nah, it's a very youth team, very young, very young players.
That's why I said, probably with Ryan on the pitch and Rafinha in the middle of the park, probably will bring a bit of an intensity of play for the Brazil team because Bruno G.
That was a poor free kick from Bruno G.
Bruno is not the quickest, I mean, he have a good stamina and he can play 90 minutes, but he's not the quickest around the ground. Paqueta is not the quickest around the ground as well. Look how easy it is for the Moroccan to pass the ball. The Moroccan seems like they're wearing the wrong color jersey.
They look at the one that playing.
They seem like they're the Brazilian. Wow, this is crazy, man. This is so crazy.
Can you imagine Lamali play for this Morocco team? Oh,
Yamin Yamal.
4 minutes before halftime.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing at this moment, from the Brazilian team. This can't be the Brazilian team a lot of people pick through the bracket to go to final with France or with Spain. It cannot be. But let's see how, they will continue the rest of the tournament and see if this can be just a game. Whoa. That's the best ever move I've seen Paqueta make all game long. You remember that goal that Richarlison scored? I
Yeah.
think it on Switzerland. I think it was on Serbia. I think it was against Serbia in the it was against Serbia in the World Cup last cycle where he flipped the ball and it's a half bicycle kick as well. You're listening to the audio of the US commentators.
Yeah.
What is it? What is the vibe of the fans?
He said there's a lot of booing going on from the Brazil fans. A lot of booing. Saying the fans have been very disappointed.
I'm listening it on radio, so I'm getting a different coverage. That was a half decent flick on from Marquinhos.
Yeah.
That was a very good flick on.
Thiago nowhere to be found. He just there, just standing. I think Brazil would take this first half, not losing, just because of the way how they play and try to regroup and come back out second half. But I think they would be very happy not to be losing this game because of the way how they play this first half. I think Morocco could have been a little bit more disappointed because they played a better ball and you just expect Brazil to come back out a little bit better. I think Vinicius is holding onto the ball too much too. He's losing the ball a lot. Tend to play take too long.
Yeah, he could have easily give look, that's what I'm saying. Santos get forward. That's the perfect play I'm asking for. Santos get forward down that left hand side, and Vinicius just holding. He already created the overlap. Just give the guy the ball out wide, and it will pull Hakimi away centrally. And then you never know. You can get back a pass, and then you probably get the matchup with someone different, outside of Hakimi because you already played the ball wide. Pull Hakimi away.
He never used his left back too.
He's not using Santos as his advantage, because if he give that ball wide to Santos wide left, that will create avenues and it will pull Hakimi centrally and pull him away from the central area and get him wide on his right hand side, and that will give Vinicius options in the midfield. So that will probably, if the ball get back in the midfield to Vinicius, that will probably pull another Moroccan players out from the middle of the park. So that will actually get them, not to be organized as all they are at this moment. So if Brazil cannot get these men unorganized, I don't know. Yeah, but looking at what's the halftime break at this given moment, so we are seeing the Moroccan team at this moment. Yeah. So Riyadh, Riyadh and Diop, Daniel. Look, I think they are living a much comfortable life. At this moment, we saw Bono really make a very good save. I think it was a Paqueta, shot that he saved as well. But the two centre back, we're not really seeing them, much in the game for Morocco, just because the Brazilian team have failed to really break, through the spine of this Moroccan team. Yeah, the likes of Casemiro, Bruno G, and also Paqueta, they're not doing enough work in the midfield to break down the spine of this Moroccan team, and they are losing the battle, with a lot of pace. They're losing the second ball. They are losing the 50-50 battles. The Brazilian team is misplacing passes. They are not controlling the ball perfectly. They just cannot make a pass. And every time when one of the midfielders try to pin the ball wide with a 40-50 yards diagonal pass, they hit the ball, over the player head. So how you assess, these two teams, going forward, more so the two center backs for Morocco, they are living comfortable against quality opposition players on this Brazilian team.
Yeah, I think Morocco could be very proud of themselves. They have been the better team overall. You get what I'm saying? I think they're all over this Brazil team, and I think that goal Vinicius scored was just individual brilliance. It was nothing that Brazil do to build up play to score that goal. But I think coming into the second half, I'm looking for a much better performance from the Brazilian team. You know what I'm saying? I think Ancelotti definitely going to have to change something tactically because this Morocco team is all over them. And I want them Brazil to start get Thiago more into the game, but I don't think he's that type of striker. I don't think he's that type of striker who come deep and try to collect the ball and try to able to. I think this guy probably get like maybe two touch on the ball in the first half. Thiago, so and Rafinha, Vinicius, they have to come in a little bit and stop staying too wide, especially Rafinha. I think Rafinha is the one that's supposed to create more chances. You get what I'm saying? I think Morocco just do what their continent was doing in the first half. You get me? Just continue to play what they're doing, and they're just gonna have to make better be a little bit more quicker in the final turn, and just keep doing what you're doing because I just feel like they, energy wise, they're gonna be a lot more energy than this Brazil team. As I said, this Brazil team is very agey. As you said, it's very agey. And Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes, can they able to do this high intensity in this heat? I just don't see it. And they don't really have too much option to come off the bench and freshen up this midfield. So I can see Morocco nicking this win. I don't know why. I just see Morocco nicking this.
Yeah, if it doesn't change, Morocco, have some other opportunity and different avenues in the second half to break down this Brazil team. And I'm looking at this where, if you look at the passes, Brazil have 257 passes, Morocco have 218. Brazil and the accurate passes 224, while Morocco 188 with 86%. But look at this, Morocco have 80 passes in their own half, while Brazil have 129. So looking at it, opposition half, in terms of passing, Moroccan's team stand more over this Brazilian team.
Yeah.
So it tells you that there's a team that's being more proactive and being more precise in the most dangerous area of the Brazilian half. The accurate long pass, they have 30%, Brazil have 35%, but Morocco have more accurate long balls. That's what I meant to say, the long balls. Yeah. Looking at another thing, touches in the box. Morocco have 2 more than the Brazil team, which is 9 to 11. That need to change. Thiago is not having enough touches on the ball. Another thing, tackles. The Moroccan team are winning it by 1, 14 to 15.
Yeah.
The duels. Yes, we know Brazil team is not the team that going to fight with opposition team, but you have, with this new modern day of football, if you are not winning your battles on the pitch, you're losing something in games. And with Morocco having 4 more duels won over Brazil 32 to 36, that need to change as well. This is what I can't understand. A Moroccan team have 12 successful dribbles while Brazil have 5. Who is the 2 wingers for Morocco? El Kanous and Brahim Diaz and Onai in the middle of the pitch playing as a 10. And Sani, what's his name in the forward line? Sani Saibari. I cannot wrap my head around this where, Daniel, this Moroccan team have more successful dribble than the Joaga Bonita team. That's why we keep saying it seems that Moroccan players are wearing a different jersey. How is it possible? Vinicius turning over the football plenty times. And, we can go on and look at some of those stats as well. And we're going to start off with Vinicius.
Yeah. How much,
he really turned over the ball. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 See
Yeah,
if
I think
go on.
no, I think the Venus do the same thing over and over. I know you know he got that goal, but I feel like sometimes he needs to use his left back. You know, play the ball out wide. You get what I'm saying? Because you're gonna keep on. Akeem is a very experienced defender. You get what I'm saying? And you trying to cut in every time, he's just gonna tackle you. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes use Douglas outside and play him Santos, play him through so he can go. You get what I'm saying? But I think what I'm very interested to see Morocco changes as well. They have a lot of good youngster off the bench that can come in and freshen up as well. I expect Brazil to do the same, but how long Ancelotti is gonna wait to take off maybe a Rafinha or a Vinicius off this field to freshen it up as well, because they cannot able to lose this game. They just cannot. I know it's the first game, but you want to put a statement win in
Yeah.
this group. You get what I'm
All
saying?
right. So I found the stats for Vinicius, the dribbling stats, where it is crazy. We know Vinicius is a winger and he's going to take risk. But you cannot come up. Yes, he's coming up against probably the best right back in the world, but you are playing for the Seleção. You have 5 dribble and 0% of successful dribble. 0. Vinicius' possession last is 11 times on the pitch.
Yeah.
And he have 9 carries with the ball. It just cannot. That is not good enough. You get what I'm saying? It's just not good enough. So we're moving on to Paqueta, where we look at, some of his Paqueta last the possession 10 times, and he has 10 carries. So each time he carry the ball, he lose possession. You get what I'm saying? So another player again, Rafinha, is dribbling 4 dribble, 1 successful. And he lost possession 11 times. So the key players for Brazil who supposed to be carrying the football, losing possession in double digits in the first half. It's ridiculous how much these players are losing the ball so comfortably. Next player, again. Look at Bruno G, some of the dribbles, because he lost the ball 9 times in the midfield. God mighty, I don't even want to go in more on rest of players because it's just getting worse and worse. So you're looking at the players who should be creating the moments. They are not having successful carries. They're not having successful possession. They are not tidy enough. And if I was Ancelotti, I would be kicking all the water bottles all over in the dressing room on some of these players. But I am going to ask, Brazil going to win or draw with the coach experience? If Brazil going to have to do the work the much longer way and do marathon runs and not getting the job done at the easiest way when they meet the top 5 teams, which when you look at Brazil play European teams in the knockout round, what happened? It's an L in the column and they find themselves packing out of the World Cup. It will not get any easier than this. But I do get what you're coming from, that the coach might win the game. But the Brazil players, you cannot wait on a break for Ancelotti to tweak the team. You have to look yourself in and make better decisions going forward, because we have seen it where Rafinha get the ball wide right, and then guess what he do? Miscontrol the football. 11 times Brazil most influential players lost possession in double digits. So Rafinha is not even controlling the ball perfectly well and facing Mazwari out there on the right hand side. Vinicius, okay, Hakimi have blessed with pace. You have to change the game. You're not going to beat Hakimi with pace every time. So you have to use Douglas Santos wide. Whenever he overlap, you cannot look past the player. Use him as your advantage. We're seeing 2-3 times down that left-hand side. Use him. Pull Hakimi away from his position. Receive back the ball. Then Hakimi get caught out of position. That will allow the Moroccan team to have to play out of structure. But again, how much times the Brazilian players are using this to their advantage, their head, it's just not happening. Neymar have done this on numerous occasions in the last 2 World Cups, where he just think that and believes he can win the game by himself. Football has passed that one-man game now. It's what you can do with your teammate. The one-man show is not working anymore. Why Argentina won the World Cup? Why they have been successful? Why they're on the verge of repeat what Spain did 08, 010, and 012? Because the players play collective football with Lionel Messi. And Messi share the football, share the ball with his teammate. The selfishness of the Brazilian players, and you're not doing anything with the ball. It's not like they are doing something with the ball. Why they are being selfish? They're not beating 2-3 players. They're just running right into the Moroccan players. Or the Moroccan players just come and ease them off and get possession of the ball so quick. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's see what's going to happen in this game for the Brazilian team in the second half. The second half must be some changes coming or some tweak. If he's not going to make a substitution, then he must tweak moving forward in this game. Else, if it's the same shape, the same tactical approach, the same game model, Brazil is going to be dead in the show. Not even the man himself, the godfather Ancelotti, can save them if it's continued. But we know, it's a project with Ancelotti at this moment. Not guarantee, but he offered another, couple of years to continue with the Celsa for the next World Cup. But we know things can change quickly when it comes down to Brazil exiting the World Cup in the most disrespectful way. So I leave it like that. Let's see what will happen. But it's not looking good for the Seleção fans out there, especially back home in Brazil.
Yeah, I think definitely gonna see a better performance from the Brazilian team. I think they're well experienced enough to go there and manage themselves. I think the first time when they start off the game, you can see the nerve. They're about to make a change. Fabinho is coming. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's another player that is not his best, but he have a lot of experience. He can come in and settle in the game a little bit. But legs wise, I think that's where they're lacking right now. You get what I'm saying? I don't think experience is the problem.
Experience is not the problem.
Experience is not the problem.
Experience is not the problem right there for
it's
Brazil.
The legs are able to move around that pitch. You get, I wonder who he's going to take on. I think he's going to take on Casemiro, because there's no way you can have both Casemiro.
Yeah, I think Casemiro might be the one that
make way.
Yeah, I think Casemiro substitution. Carlos Enriquez coming in. So it's Casemiro going out for Fabinho. Like for like substitution.
You think that's a good move?
Yeah, I think Fabinho probably more have a bit of a composure on the ball rather than Casemiro. Fabinho has been that player in between, Gigi Wijnaldum and in that famous Jurgen Klopp midfield three, to settle things down. I know he's not the quickest, but what he really can do is, he can hold on to the ball, much better. And I'm hoping that his first touch, will live up to expectation. And we know Fabinho, can really kind of tone down the game a bit and keep Brazil needs someone in the midfield where they just need to be keeping the football ticking over, where not turn over the football, but to keep it moving on to teammates, and then from there, you will find the rhythm. Brazil just need to get some passes, accurate passes going, for long periods, where it will actually can pull these Moroccan players away out of their possession. They're too easy, defending tactically in their shape. So I think Fabinho should bring a bit of a composure, on the ball in this game, and this will allow maybe the likes of Bruno G to play slightly a bit further away than how he was playing, and Paqueta to play more close to Thiago in that number 9 position. So I think that's something where Fabinho will bring to this game. So let's see how the Brazilian team going to start the first 5-10 minutes in the second half. So let's see if anything changed than what we've seen in the first half.
Yeah.
And it's why
Corner from Brazil. They should try to find Gabriel. Gabriel very good in the air. Scored so many goals for Arsenal over the last couple of years from corners. So I think that should be definitely be a weapon that Brazil should try to explore.
what is going on in the game? Let's see if Brazil can make something from this game. Bit wasteful in the game.
Very good player. Vinicius does the same little chap back and him lose the ball every time him do it. He still play like a little teenager.
You see why the Brazil team still have the service of a Neymar? Because these players not living up to expectation in the yellow jersey. That's a poor challenge, man. Poor challenge. Very poor challenge. Easily could be a yellow card. That's a poor
He's not
challenge.
a yellow. He's not a yellow.
That's a poor challenge, man. Poor challenge.
No, he's not. He's not.
That's a poor challenge.
No, he's not a yellow. It's the right back who's on a yellow. He's not.
Let's see.
But his next challenge definitely gonna get a yellow card. Though.
Yeah, he definitely cannot escape the next bad tackle that he's going to make. Next up, on the live, we will be doing the Scotland and Haiti, the first Caribbean country, to make it to the big time. Yes, so at this point, 50 minutes in, 5 minutes into the second half, Brazil still looking to get a stronghold in this game. We're seeing Rafinha losing out possession easily again over Mazuari, losing 50-50 battles. At some given point, we're going to have to see Hendrick, coming into this game to see if he can bring a bit of a difference. And that was a very good challenge, from Douglas Santos, and Vinicius. I think it was a okay. He ran at the defender. We thought, Hakimi was there, and I think he did excellent, to get the ball in the box. Yeah, I think that's signs of positive that Vinicius, finally get options in his pathway to run at defenders without Hakimi in front of him and to get across into the box. So let's see if that can repeat itself. Maybe that's the opportunity that he's looking out for.
Yo, what is Thiago doing on the field? No, seriously.
No,
what is Thiago?
No, but you're criticizing Thiago. No, you're criticizing Thiago.
No, Thiago, no. The man that even come deep, receive the ball, take a touch, nothing, brother. He's not ready. I'm sorry. This level is too big for him. He's not ready.
When Thiago playing for Brentford, what Brentford do
watch
very
out
well?
Again. Watch out. Jesus.
What Brentford do very well? Brentford give him the outlet. Brentford give him the outlet.
No, I'm playing a low block team or feeds off of a counter-attack football. And that's what he did.
So,
but no, him have to play against that. No, him have to play for a team that just gonna dominate position and dictate. And him have to wait. Him can't get himself involved in the game. He's too static for me. He just stand up, run place, and get marked very easily. I'm sorry. Way too easy.
I understand what you're saying. He's not the most high-profile number 9 with quality.
Should have been a better shot one.
Play in a Brazil team, but with player like a certain limitation, Brazil players. When last season, the Rafinha get in and Jack get ball in the box. Yeah, we see him get the opportunity on his head in the first half, but there's not many opportunities created for him as well. But again, he get himself into the midfield area in the first half. The ball bounced off him. You get what I'm saying? So I think he can do a bit better. But we'll see Vinicius getting the quick balls around the corner, playing the one touch, running in space. That's good signs of playing team football.
Watch it. That's poor. I'm sorry. That was a poor move from Thiago again. If you control the ball, I take the ball and shot. I don't have agenda, but I am. Come on, man. If you blood like Fred, even Fred better than Samania.
Nah. I'm not sure if Fred is. I'm not sure if Fred is better.
Fred is better than 2014. Sure. Fred is better than man. Come on. I'm not sure. Fred better than him.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Fred is totally better than Igor Thiago at this moment. But again, he probably should have taken a touch right there before Vinicius get the ball. He should have taken a touch. But he's not the most skillful player. But he's not the most touch player. Even see in the Premier League.
Not a Brazilian man. This guy does not. But I don't know how he get a Brazilian passport. This guy is not a Brazilian. I don't know how he got that.
Talk about the goals that he scored in the Premier League. That's what get him into the squad.
That's for sure. The Premier League was poor last season. All right. Marcus on the attack. I like Mazzari. I like him.
Yeah, Mazzari is a very good player. He's a player that he's like the camel for the Moroccan team.
Yeah, he's a very good player.
He carries the football very well. He drives with the football whenever he can. Anywhere he gets to play, he's going to be the same Mazzari. He played in the midfield. Whether he play, either right back, left back, he's going to be the Mazzari that you know. Nerves. Brazil next 2 games will be against Haiti in where that game will play. That game will play in Philadelphia, and the Scotland game will play in Miami, Florida. So Brazil play next 2 games, the 19th and the 24th of this month. Then looking forward for the group stage to come to an end, and then the knockout round should begin coming, the back end of June, getting into the early phase of July. So let's see how it will continue.
I don't think Rafinha having a good game.
No, Rafinha has been, very poor. I think Rafinha is one of them that probably can give way. I think he probably can give way, to be honest. Probably is one that can move himself, off the pitch. Get one of those younger, Luis Enrique or Ryan, one of those players. That's a strong challenge, from Thiago. Strong challenge. Very strong challenge.
That's a yellow card.
That's a very strong challenge from Thiago. That's just a body check, more than a yellow card. Saibari. Yes, what's your prediction going into the last 30 minutes of the game? What is your prediction going forward in the last 30 minutes? Will the Seleção get the best of one of the African giants, Morocco? I think there is a few positive lights, from this Brazilian team in the first 10 minutes in the second half. We're seeing a bit, some quick plays from Vinicius. We see Fabinho, look more of a composure, on the ball as well in the midfield. Just taking 2 touches, control and pass. But we really yet to see the Brazil team create big moments and open up this Moroccan team. Douglas Santos, Vinicius Jr. See, at this moment, man, all the Moroccan players are right behind the ball, deep into their half. Why Paquetá can't control the ball to save his life? Jesus Christ. Man can't control the ball perfect to save his life. Can't be nerves, man. Cannot be nerves. Moroccans are deep into their half at this moment. It seems like the Brazilians are, start to mount up and have very good pressure on this Moroccan team. They look kind of slightly a bit comfortable on the ball, slightly, but still making bad decisions with some of the passes. The runs, that they're making, to create avenues and spaces. It's not being good. The passes have been over, are just hitting no man's land. But it just seems like the Moroccan team just okay. What you have as Brazilian players, seems like they going to sacrifice certain elements around the game of not being too aggressive and just watch this Brazilian team in the first couple of minutes in the second half, and if they get opportunity on the counter, then they will proceed and take advantage of it. But their approach now seems a bit more reserved. They're making bad passes, but Brazil, the Moroccan team, make bad passes in dangerous areas, and then Brazil pick it up, and then Brazil make another bad pass. So we are not even making and capitalizing on the bad errors that the Moroccan players made, and it just seems like the Moroccan players are not making bad decisions, but Brazil are not capitalizing on it. In the first
What
half,
change? What change? What Brazil? Oh, they're just about to make change. I was just about to say, what change would you make? Would you make?
I will get Hendrick in the game. No, I will get Hendrick and Paqueta off. It seems that Mateus and Hendrick is coming in. No, that's look like Enrique is coming in. Seems like Enrique is coming in at this
Kune
moment.
for Thiago. What's your assessment on Thiago performance in his first official Brazilian game?
Below par. He struggled with the team. The team, failed to create opportunities for him. But he in the Celestial jersey, playing as a number 9, you get that chance in the 6-yard box. As a big man like him, he have to connect the ball fully with his head. And I just think, I will give him, a 5 out of 10, to be honest, because he should have at least put that ball on target. Anything on target, Bono will be probably in problem with that half chance that they created for him in the first half. But he struggled with the team. The team struggled to give this player, nice build-up plays. And also when he dropped deep in the midfield in the first half, the ball bounced off him. When he collect the ball with one of the 2 CBs, from Morocco, Diop or Riyadh, they shoved him off the ball too easy. So for a big man playing up front in any team, rule number 1, you have to win your aerial duels. You have to be stronger on the ball and your touch to hold up the play and allow the team to come up the pitch and get players to get around you. You have to do those things in this day and age. And I think Ivan Toney in this World Cup is probably one of the better players. You need to watch and see how Ivan Toney really do stuff like that. He's a specialist in that as well. You get what I'm saying? So 5 out of 10, for Thiago in this first half, and they are in the first 60 minutes of his first World Cup game. But I'll be surprised to see Mateus, in the game rather than Hendrick. When Brazil is in trouble and in big problems in friendly games, the young Bobby Charlton, really save and dig Brazil team out of problem. You see in Wembley, the Bernabeu, and you see the other day against, I think, Croatia. So he tends to bail out these Brazilian teams, with some goals off the bench. So let's see how long or he will never get on the pitch.
I would start with Hendrick. I personally would start with Hendrick up top instead of Thiago. I definitely would start with Hendrick. I think Hendrick would be a much more influenced player. He will get involved in the game, even if there's no opportunities is playing for him. And I just feel like Hendrick is a better player, all-round player than Thiago. And he's much more quicker. You get what I'm saying? Youthful. You get me? So I think I would have go with Hendrick, but I think Ancelotti is going with experience. You get what I'm saying? So I think maybe like in the 75 minutes, if the Brazil is still chasing this game, I think they will bring in Hendrick.
Yeah. But if you're going to bring Hendrick in the game, you're going to have to shuffle Mateus somewhere else on the pitch. I think Rafinha can give away probably in the next 5 minutes. I think Rafinha would be a very good substitution out. He have not do anything productive in that final third where he should be the better player. And if you look at playing for Barcelona in the last 2 campaigns, this is a player that arguably in the top 2 of most chances created in the La Liga in the last 2 campaigns. But he has been, a little baby with a messy diaper when he's playing for Brazil, just like Vinicius, as the Spanish term, you say, these players are, basura, they are trash. But yet to really show the Brazilian massive that they are a player that growing with the national team, but not but with the club team and not with the national team. And see, looking at Fabinho is not looking good. He's still not on the pitch as yet on my coverage.
Yeah.
But Brazil look more of a comfortable team, keeping the position in the second half. And it's all down to Morocco have not been too physical with their press.
I think Marca would have happy with a draw I think they would take a draw. You get what I'm saying?
But
I think Brazil is the one that wants to win.
But look, we know that at this current moment, where I'm located, on the south coast of America, throughout the entire afternoon, go right until 5 p.m. It was 100 degrees, 110, and it's a bit hot in New York. So I'm looking at maybe they just cannot go, that extreme, constantly, pressing aggressively, at some point.
Difficult.
At some given point, psychologically, it's going to take a toll where you're just finding yourself giving the Brazilian players a lot more time. And I think it's all down to Morocco of not being too aggressive in their press, while Brazil look a bit more comfortable, on the football. So the Moroccan is really sitting at bay, they're really looking to close out the game, but it's just too early, at this moment. So in the last 2 minutes, we see 2 ball flashes cross, the 6-yard box. One from Bruno G and one from, I think, Rafinha on the left-hand side. And where is the Brazilian number 9? As a 9 playing in the World Cup, you have to be somewhere right there. You get, where is Mateus? Somebody have to be in. Somebody have to be in the middle of the, between 2 sticks, right in the 6-yard box with those balls flashing right across, the Moroccan defensive line. Someone has to be there. So we are heading, to the 70th minute, the hydration break, the second hydration and the last hydration break of the game. Morocco, as you see, you think tactically, the coach probably would have made a few tweak and adjustment with how they press, trying to see out the game and have a bit more energy in the back part to really to resist and stand, firm against any win what the Brazilian will throw at them in the last quarter of this half.
It's buying some time. I think they are buying some time. They come out gun blazing in the first 30 minutes in the first half, and it's natural for them to try to calm down a little bit. You get what I'm saying? But I think maybe in the 15 minutes, maybe in the 10 to 15 minutes, they're gonna start come out and start to try to win the game, because they're bringing a couple new faces on the field, and I think they're just buying time. You get what I'm saying? I think Brazil's on the up. I think they need to take their opportunity, know that they're the one that's playing in a better football, and take an opportunity and let's start create some better chances. And I think Ancelotti need to bring on Hendrick, because I feel like Hendrick will be that one that can get onto one of those chances, because I don't think Cunha have that natural instinct as a striker for being in the box where a natural striker would be. Because 2 times Brazil's flash the ball across the box and nobody in the box. You get what I'm saying? So I think Ancelotti need to think about bringing on Hendrick as soon as possible if they want to win this game.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. And I'm a bit worried of why did he make that substitution. I think the game doesn't need Mateus in the number 9 position at this time. It needs someone that's going to latch on and anything spill in that box. And we see the 2 crosses flash across the Moroccan 6-yard box in 2 times in a space of 2 minutes, and not one player get their feet or their head at the ball. So I'm thinking that's a Hendrick. That's an Hendrick there, with someone that will latch on something. So let's see, if they can really, to salvage this point to 3 points. But I think it's a much better half, for the Brazil team. I think it's a positive. They went in, obviously make some very good adjustment. And I think some very quick plays that we see from the Rafinha and the Vinicius, you're more of looking at why these plays didn't make in the first half, rather than approaching the game late into the second half at this point, where I think it might probably be a little bit late. Probably would have created more opportunities, more avenues, probably wear and tear down, this Moroccan team that's pressed aggressively, in that first half. So we see in the Moroccan team making the types of mistakes that Brazil made. Not very good on the ball. Misplacing ball possession. First touch poor. Turning over the ball. So something definitely hit this Moroccan team negatively, in the second half, and I'm yet to see if they really can pull themselves out of this situation before, if this Brazil team can create one more big opportunities. You get what I'm saying? So it seems like
I was always expect Brazil to be a little bit better though than first half.
I'm looking at it this way. Ancelotti probably playing a 4-4-2. Mateus and Rafinha up front.
Yeah.
I think that's a shape that he's going in with the last 15 minutes of the game.
Oh, that was a chance.
Yeah, that was a massive chance. That was a massive chance. That was a massive chance. But yeah, it seems like they kind of change, the approach and the formation while Mateus Cunha, is on the pitch. It seems like he's going with, of more of a 4-4-2 with Rafinha and Mateus and Vini. Trying to see who's on the right hand side.
I think it's what's his name?
Oh, Enrique, Luis Enrique.
Enrique
is out on that right hand side.
Are you surprised that Alisson is in goal after not really being involved with Liverpool that much this season?
No, I'm not surprised. He's Brazilian number one.
I think it's anybody game at this point right now.
Yeah, I think it's getting really edgy between the 22 players on the pitch at this moment. You can see that nobody really, wants to make any mistake deep in there in the dangerous area. But it's the position that the Moroccan team, having with the Hakimi foul, I think it's very needed, to give them a bit of a respite. And you can see I show speed meeting the Brazilian legends and the PSG, president as well. I show speed is he's just a showboat, man. Everton said that not even Pep Guardiola can save this Brazil team, even though a my team, I mean this Brazilian team, the players, man, they need a massive shake. But you see, I'm looking at it where Vinicius played in the last World Cup and stuff like that. These players, played in the last World Cup and played in some major tournaments regionally as well in the Americas. But you're looking at players now to go out there, go express yourself, go be a hero, go win the game for Brazil, put your name in around the history books of one of Brazil elite or greatest player. And you're waiting for Vinicius, you're waiting for Rafinha, you're waiting for one of these players to go out and grab the game by the scruff of the neck and win it for the Brazilian people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying people cannot complain about Neymar being in the squad, because guess what? When Neymar playing, Neymar is doing work of like a maverick on the pitch. He's trying to be like a killer, where he's trying to win the game by the scruff of the neck at times. But you're just not getting that approach from none of these players who are big superstars at their club.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Neymar still have that legs to move around like normally.
I think what Neymar will bring to this Brazilian team, he will not bring the explosiveness like what he used to do and quick turn and the half spin. But what he will do, he will create opportunities. That's what he will bring. His passing is, his so much better than a lot of these players. So I think him being one of the creative player in this team, Vinicius Junior, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know,
Shirt is too heavy.
Neymar is much of a complete player than a lot of these players. But we see Rafinha created opportunities after opportunity for FC Barcelona. Over 100 goals contribution in the last 2 campaigns. Where are those for Brazil? That's what I'm asking. The players played well in their club, but the yellow and blue and white socks is just so difficult, for them. The approach, so difficult. This Moroccan team looking more dangerously, as the game going.
I told you in the last 15 minutes they're gonna start. Yes, they're gonna start get back in the game. They're gonna definitely start get back in the game. They were just buying some time to get back in this game,
Yeah, they're finding themselves, a bit in some very dangerous areas as well.
I don't think I agree 100% with those changes that Ancelotti made.
No, I think the Mateus Brazil never need that change. Brazil need a Hendrick, someone that's going to be a poacher. You're going to give, that going to give the team a different dynamic. Like you can play the ball
because nobody's really up there now, and who's occupying Morocco defense? Vinicius, let's see what Vinicius, Rafinha did. That's a poor shot.
I don't know. Hendrick has been so good. Hendrick, that was an opportunity for Rafinha, but Hendrick was so good throughout the friendlies, off the bench, and you need a goal in the first game of the World Cup group stage for Brazil. I'm not sure where's Hendrick, man.
It's not on the bench.
Hendrick is on the bench. Of course, Hendrick is on the bench. Hendrick is on the bench. He's on the bench. I'm just curious to know what Ancelotti is really doing with these in-game management and these substitutions. It's just not going to plan. It's just not going to plan, and I think he just dropped the ball a bit, to be honest. Really think he dropped the ball with these substitutions.
Daniel Santos coming in. Central midfielder, right?
I don't know what Ancelotti is doing, man. Hendrick, you have to give Hendrick a game. You have to give the young Bobby Charlton a game, man. That's so poor. So poor. Bruno is getting off the pitch. I want to see this new setup.
Rafinha as a number 9. I'm not Rafinha. I'm not quite sure what he's trying to do. I think he take the pressure off Morocco defense by those changes.
If you're going to play with a false 9, the build-up and the communication and the balance of the team have to be right. The midfielders must carry the football, must create. The fluidity of the game must be at its best to play with the false 9. the quick plays around the corner, quick passing to each other must be precise. But Brzail, did you say Brzail tick those boxes? All of those boxes through the entire game consistently? No. So you have to play with someone who's going to occupy Riyadh and Diop in that defensive third. And you just see Vinicius Junior holding out this and like it's just not organized. It's just Fina has been so poor 1v1, like he just cannot take on a player.
Come on, man. Go away. You know you don't want nothing.
Right.
You hear that? Are you listening to the commentator?
No, I'm listening to radio coverage.
You can take away corner kick and you can take away free kicks.
I'm not listening to the US coverage. I'm listening to the radio.
Yeah, you can take away corners and you can take away free kicks if it's not correctly given.
And that was given as a corner and then took it away.
Yeah, I took it away. Yeah.
That was very risky. That was very risky.
Oh. Oh.
Ancelotti is joking, man. I think Ancelotti have made some mistakes in this game. Joke.
I think he's settled for the draw.
Huh?
The changes that he make, I think he settled for the draw. I don't think he want to lose this game.
Yeah, you don't want to lose this game. You know, it'd be a disaster if Brazil lose this game. You don't want to lose this game. It will be such a disaster. You know, they better hope Bono is not injured. You know, right? Bono putting him. Yeah, I mean,
that's what Bono a warrior, man. Bono a warrior, man. Bono now got injured.
I think Bono is more buying time.
That's what I mean, think too.
I think physically he got shaken up, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen enough in those replays to say that, you know, he's hurt badly. Zinedine Zidane. $11 shot to 12 to Morocco shots on goal, 4-2 in Brazil favor. Brazil 14 fouls, Morocco 12 fouls as well.
Somebody said Paqueta put his entire house on Morocco to win this game. Yo, he would never beat that allegation, man.
Well, you know, who is, you know, O'Neal, you know, Duncan, you know, blessing my G. What up can I view the match on my bro? You know, bro, to be honest, it's when you come on to World Cup, I have no clue, to be honest. I make sure.
You have to get cable. Depends
Come
on where
on,
you're at.
come on. It is World Cup, man. Get some subscription coverage, man. It's World Cup, man. Get a subscription fee for at least a month. It's the World Cup. You only get this 4 times every year. Come on. I don't know which app I can really tell you to watch a game on, to be honest, bro. But this is World Cup, man. Get a subscription fee in. I don't know where you at in the in the world.
FIFA lock up people for illegal stream. You hear what I'm saying there? Be careful, yeah.
Depends on where you're at in the world. You know, you can get the game on Talk Sports with radio. You can get it through Footmob on radio. It depends on where you're at in the world. But come on, it's the World Cup. get a 1 month subscription fee in, man, to watch your favorite team. I can't tell you which app you can watch the game on, to be honest. I'm really sorry about that, my G. Really sorry about that. You see how easy it is for the Moroccan team to get into the midfield and into the pockets of the Brazilian defense line.
A lot of composure, huh?
Yeah, but the press has been very poor. The team shape has been very poor. It's not organized enough.
Yeah.
And you could see that, you know, you get the latest subject.
So you're telling me he's not gonna bring out Hendrick in this game?
I mean, this is what I'm saying. You know, Hendrick has been the fire and power who have the goal off the bench, and you're not giving the youngster an opportunity in the first World Cup. We are 1-1, and Brazil need a goal.
Ancelotti really went 4-4-2 with Vinicius and Rafinha up top with a literally 4 banks of 4. This is with Danilo and Fabinho in the middle.
This is not a Brazilian approach. This is not a good Brazil approach. It's not good. It's not a good approach from Papa Ancelotti. It's not a good approach, man. You have to go out there and win this game. Morocco have never gotten a point from a South American team in our World Cup. Never. This is bad. This is so terrible. This is so terrible. I see why Brazil was controlling the game, because the Moroccan team just take a bit of a respite, sit deep, kind of a bit reserved to see if this Brazil team will show any punch in the start of the second half. And Brazil didn't really give our bloody any nose in the second half. Yeah, they bring a little, attacking, win in the 6-yard box, but others from that, there's no, again, Rafi get a chance from the Vinny dribble on that left-hand side, but yet to really see this Brazil team, give this Moroccan team something, to think about consistently.
Number 6 for Morocco have been one of the performance for me. Number 6.
Yeah.
18-year-old.
As Ronnie in 90 say, Brazil bad tactically. Yeah. The team shape has never been close to perfect. I don't know, man. This is good. I mean, it's going to be 10 added minutes.
Where is 10 added minute came from?
10 added minutes. I mean, Bruno drop. You got so many substitutions as well. We've seen Sophie and Raheem is coming on for Ishmael. Saibari as well. Brazil a joke around, put on Hendrick 75 minutes. Hendrick should have been the player to get on the pitch at the 60th minute when Igor Thiago is coming off. That was the change I was expecting. So you see the play, the ball went out wide right. Who was in the box?
Nobody.
Who was in the box? Vinicius is playing supportive false number 9 with Rafinha.
Always
And
wide.
where was Matthias or Vinny? The box, like no one was literally in the box when Rafinha was in the box. No Brazilian player was in the box when that ball went in there. And Brazil want to win a World Cup. Madness. Not one time this guy beat Rafinha. Not one time he beat Hakimi, I must say. You cannot beat Hakimi with pace. You cannot beat him with pace. You have to stop. You have to keep him stop and go. You have to do something. You can't just push the ball down the byline and just think you're going to beat Hakimi with pace. It's just not going to work. It's very much a harder way to beat Hakimi that way. You have to stop. You have to twist him. You have to turn him. You have to bring him all over the pitch. He's just too good 1v1. And his recoveries, you might get tired of him, but the recovery of getting in the way of the ball, getting a block, getting a nudge, with the shoulder, and just to get it off balance. He's so clever at that. And he's a fit player. He's a fit player. That man feed pan lamb every day.
Vinicius tired too. He would have never taken him off.
Vinicius tired. Vinicius and Rafinha, one of them should have already get a substitution. That was that corner kick was probably the most better kick me ever see Brazil get. Ah, man. It's no good, man. The world take a pause. It's crazy. Brazil literally don't have a midfielder. Brazil literally don't have a midfielder. Brazil, Danilo has been a shadow in the midfield. He's yet to really get on the football.
The game just a bypass him.
Danilo has. I don't know, and he's been a shadow of himself since he came on. He got an opportunity a while ago, but he's been a shadow of himself.
Another Hakimi. They have a Hakimi playing striker. That's crazy.
I know it's Rahimi.
Is Rahimi? Oh,
yeah, Rahimi. He has 5 touches in the on the ball. 5 touch. And he came on 15 minutes ago, and he has 5 touches on the ball.
I think he did get the shot.
Yeah, he got the opportunity. He got the opportunity in the box. This team, I think if Morocco can play to this standard, I believe with a few tweaks in this team, I see them stretching far in the tournament again, because one thing I really like with them,
Venus lose the ball.
one thing I really like with this Morocco team, they're a fit squad of players.
Yeah, they're fit.
It's a fit squad of players, and I believe that the coach made some very good substitution. You know, he brought on Talbi as well. You know, very good substitutions. I know exactly when to substitute the players. You know, Mazouari has came off as well, because he know that
Why does it look
Brazil,
like? Why does Brazil team look so tired though?
as what's his name? As
Ancelotti
what
got
Rani
everything wrong
as what
today.
Rani said, Brazil is bad tactically. Because the team is bad tactically, the players so bad tactically, with them so far away from each time a Moroccan player get the ball, it just seems like there's not enough pressing, there's not enough running, and the team just seems like it's just jaded and dead and buried in a cemetery. But the Moroccan team, a lot of criticism came this Moroccan new coach will have leaving out some key players who have take part in the last World Cup, you know. But you can see why he's picking these players, because the type of game. You know that. All right. So the last football club that I play for, in the UPSL, right? The coach was a Moroccan. Pre-season, my goodness, I've never worked so hard in my life. He's a Moroccan.
Yeah,
I've never worked so hard in my entire life.
yeah.
The amount of running to get in shape for that season. Yeah, I was wondering if this guy is trying to kill us. But then I found out he's a Moroccan. I'm like, geez.
That's not a fault. Venus have been he have been so poor without that goal. He have been so poor.
Brazil almost conceded a goal, man. Brazil almost conceded a goal at death. Almost conceded a goal at the death.
That's from Venus. That's from Venus mistake right there.
Yeah, Badoy is 18 and dominating the midfield. You see why Amrabat cannot get in this team. You see why Amrabat cannot get in this team? Because of this player. He's just so good. I think, I believe that this player will be on a lot of club shopping lists if he continue like this into the World Cup at 18 years old. You know, he has been playing for Lille since 23-24 campaign at the senior level. So he has been playing at a 16-year-old in the French Liga. Wow. And it's a player that, grew up in France, played for France at the youth level, but decided to make a big switch as an 18-year-old to play in this World Cup. So it's going to be a massive call whether Lille, I'm going to hold on this player. Maybe end up over Strasbourg or Chelsea buy him.
That was a poor performance from Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, poor substitutions as well from Papa Ancelotti. Very poor, of him. Very poor of him. Morocco is recruiting. Yeah, they are very recruiting very well. Look, I can tell you, this player, the 18-year-old in the middle of the park for Morocco. I've never heard of him before, never seen him before. When I look at this Morocco squad, I was like, I don't even know some of these players' name. You get what I'm saying? I've never seen some of these players' name, but guess what? You have to give the Moroccan coach a lot of credit to scout properly and to bring in, some of these younger, fresh bloods, because probably more likely if Amrabat was the player in that midfield, probably Brazil would have a more opportunity on the ball. So if you look at even the other player, El Anoui for AS Roma, he's 24. These players are just so
Yeah.
These players are so quick on the ball, so quick. He's 24.
Somebody said every time Thiago play, Brentford lose 20 million extra. Oh my God! When I said Thiago look good, you're on Twitter, kill Thiago. Channel star.
Yes, so everyone on the stream, you're on YouTube, watching us as well. Yeah, you can come in on YouTube and subscribe, and to Nicardo Media House or Daniel Talk Football, or on our Nick and That Podcast YouTube channel as well. We are much love and appreciate it. And bless up to our Reggae Boys fans as usual, who checking in as well, the watch along. We would be back. Yeah, we will be back, but I think you might drop a post reaction as well to this Brazil game. But we'll be back for the Haiti game as well. Really love and appreciate, all the Seleção fans, all the Moroccan fans as well, over Twitter, giving us and it's not Twitter anymore, over X. All the supporters over X, the hundreds of supporters over X watching us at this moment. Yeah, much love and respect to you guys as well. Really appreciate it. If you're a Moroccan, if you is a Seleção fans from Brazil, the only thing I know in Portuguese is Toto Benj. Yeah, and for the Moroccan fans, the Arabic, the salam alaikum salam, and if that is it, so much love and respect to each supporters as well. We are going to close out on the stream, so much love and respect again. Really appreciate if you give us support and follow us on X, and also follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes, we much love and appreciate your guys' support. How we marching out. So say